Okay, so what I have here is a Milwaukee quarter-inch impact driver, and the problem it's having is it only turns clockwise. I don't know if you can see that, but it... So then you change direction, and yet it still turns clockwise. So we're going to take this apart, figure out what the problem is. Apparently this is a pretty common problem for these, and it seems to be that sawdust usually gets gummed up in the handle and separates this switch here from the actual switch inside. But let's see if that's the case here. It's usually a fairly simple fix, but let's see what happens here. Okay, so once I get all the screws out, we're just going to try and pry it open. And these come apart pretty easy. And there is a lot of sawdust in there. And this is the little switch. So as you can see, this is here is the rotary switch, which changes direction. And it's just a tiny little nub there. And this here is a switch from the outside. So this can easily get, you know, dislodged and make it not work. Now, let's see if that's actually the problem by manually moving it into position. So put the battery back on. Alright, that's counterclockwise. That's clockwise. So that was the problem. So all we got to do is clean this all out. Get all the gunk out of it. And this one's actually not too bad. The one I worked on prior to this was pretty much filled. And an air compressor would be wonderful, but this is kind of late at night and I can't fire mine up. It just makes the job easier, but we can do just fine without it. Or a can of compressed air, which I don't have any on hand right now because it's a waste of money, except for times like this. There we go. So I'm going to hold that in place and try to get this down into position. Make sure there's no sawdust in here that's going to cause it to gum up. Like I said, this one's pretty clean. Once you do that, just line everything back up and put it back together. So now that it's back together, let's put the battery on before we put the screws on. Because you know how that works. As soon as you put the screws in, it stops working. It goes clockwise, it goes counterclockwise. Cool. Let's put the screws back in. Okay, so let's take a look. Alright, so that's clockwise, counterclockwise, in the center is locked. Just the way it needs to be. Just the way it needs to be. So if you have one of these drills and it's not changing direction, or maybe it's locked and it won't unlock, whatever the case may be, take it apart, just like I did, and clean out and reseat the selector switch, because chances are it's either gummed up with sawdust or concrete dust, whatever it is that you're working with, because it gets in through either the switch or through the fan housing. It actually sucks in air here and blows out air here, so it sucks it in here, gets all gummed up around this switch, and then it pushes it out of position. And it's not the greatest design, but it's easy enough to fix, so it's not really worth complaining about too bad. So if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, leave them down below. Make sure you give the video a like if this helped you, dislike if it didn't, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.